Before quitting your job to become a stay-at-home parent, stop and ask yourself these 8 questions first so that you can have the best of both worlds as a work-from-home parent. By the way, if any of the following questions are a big resounding no, don't worry, because a lot of them were no's for me too, but because of the pandemic and other reasons, a lot of them became yeses. So let's get into it. How will I or how can I set a routine for my children? It will definitely take time. I am not going to lie. It took a really long time for me to get into the groove of things. And also, more importantly, it took a while for my kid, and last year my kids plural, to get used to having a routine while mommy's working. So it takes a lot of dedication to build this communication, the system within your household for everything to work, but it definitely is possible. You can take the lead or you can let your children take the lead and you follow, but either way, having that routine is absolutely necessary in order for you to be a work from home parent. There's really no way around it. I'm sure there are people who don't have routines and they make it work because anything is possible really if you put your mind to it. But I would say as a blanket rule, having that routine or finding a way to make that routine a reality is the #1 goal when you are working from home with your kids. Also, if you want to see what it's like to work from home with a toddler, I'm a virtual school teacher, so it can get pretty crazy. Watch this video above, and of course, you gotta stay and answer these questions first. I'll make sure I link it at the end and below too. Also, Busy Bee, make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss any of my crazy work from home adventures. Is my employer okay with me having my kids at home? With the world being turned upside down, there's so many more employers who are okay with this. But this absolutely needs to be a yes in order for you to work from home with your kiddos. You want to still have that paycheck, but you also want to spend more time with your kids. I don't blame you. That's why I do it. However, you need to make sure your employer is okay with this. Number 3, can I focus with even a little background noise? I'm gonna be honest. Oh my goodness. My 20-month-old can just babble. And then if my older son is at home, maybe because he's sick or whatnot, he can just babble. They will just go on and on, but I still have to be able to hyper focus on my job because my job, they are employing me and they want me to do something. Like there is an objective, a daily objective, a weekly objective. I need to be able to teach my students, but also I do have my kids at home with me. So you're gonna have to find this really nice balance of being able to hyper focus on your job, but also be able to hyper focus on your kids so that you don't have any like accidents or anything. It's such a balancing act, but you absolutely have to be able to work with a little bit of background noise because look, even if your kids are a little bit older, or maybe you just have like really well-behaved small children, you still like can get a little bit of background noise, even if it's not like the babbling I was just talking about. Anything can get a certain person off track. And if you are the type of person who cannot work with any type of background noise, this is definitely not a path that you want to go down unless you have some type of like backup every now and then, which leads me to question number 4. Do I have backup for special circumstances? Let's face it, there are going to be times when you absolutely need to have some type of backup because there could be an important meeting, there could be sensitive information that's in front of you on your computer or whatnot. So you absolutely have to give all of your attention to what you are doing. So you're going to need someone to be your backup. Although my family members aren't like extremely close in proximity to me, I can still count on them to maybe come over and help me out maybe like once a month. I'm very proud of myself because this is a very rare occurrence. I probably have asked someone to help me out maybe 10 times tops in the past like 2 to 3 years. Like actually just this past week I had an evaluation, so I had to ask someone to come and help me with Elijah. So it is really, really important to have a person who you can call on in those rare circumstances where you absolutely need someone. And even if it's not a person, maybe there is a center or just somewhere you can drop your child. Do I have a flexible workspace? You don't have to have like 500 different rooms that you can use to make yourself feel like you have variety, like you're in a like legit brick and mortar office. But I definitely have to walk. I have to keep my blood pumping. So I 100% need at least like 2 to 3 spots a day that I can rotate from like maybe the kitchen to the living room to just like another space that I have in my home. Like I just need to move. Now, on the flip side of that, the workspace could be like this designated workspace. And I think that's a valid question to answer as well. Do you have like a number one priority spot where if you're the type of person who can sit down for a really long time, even with having like, let's say your older kids at home with you, maybe it's better to actually have a designated workspace so that you can set those boundaries with your kids. Number 6. Are there tasks that I can do while the kids are awake? So this one has to be a yes, because let's face it, unless you have like a really, really little tiny newborn baby, your children are going to be awake a lot. So you have to find tasks that you can do very easily while they are, especially like wide awake, like they don't have food in their mouth, they're like literally like running around. So my go-to tasks are grading, because I'm a teacher. So of course I look at a lot of essays and I grade a lot of responses and things like that. It's very easy for me to do this and split my focus because I've trained myself to. Another task that I like to do while my kids are awake is create my live lesson slides. So like using Canva or Google. So it's really easy for me to be in like that creative mind frame while they are wide awake, because they're energized. So my brain is like really energized. So that's definitely a go-to. Can I take breaks to give my kids attention? Oh, this one is so important. I feel like if you have the type of job where you cannot take a break at all whatsoever, maybe you work somewhere where you are on the phone all the time, or you can't set like appointments and things like that, it could be really, really difficult to get around this, to be able to work from home with your small kids in particular. Because you really don't want your kids to like remember you as like that person who is on the computer all the time. I will give you an example. So I went to Rooms to Go maybe a couple weeks ago, whatever, looking for like kids furniture. But the 20-month-old, he found this little kid's desk, and he like turned around the little placard thing and he just starts typing like this. He's like typing on it as if he had just found a laptop. So he is literally already mimicking what he sees me do like every single day since he was like 2 months old. So it's really important to take as many breaks as possible, even if you feel like, oh my goodness, I should be working right now. Look, I make up that time by working later, or I will multitask. And that is the goal, to be able to do both, right? To have the best of both worlds. However, you absolutely need to just like take that break. And especially if you want to keep like yourself moving and everything, it's really good to get up and take a break anyway. Don't overwork yourself, mama. You gotta take some time to yourself. Am I willing to multitask? There's always something going on, changing diapers, answering the phone, being in live lessons, just there's always something going on, right? So switching over laundry, etc. But you have to be willing to learn how to multitask, or this is not gonna work out. And I like to be very positive on this channel, but I wanna be real with you too, that if you are someone who likes everything to be like one track, like just this, I have to do this, it's like in sequence, this is gonna be really tough for you to like kind of wrap your mind around if you ever do find yourself in this position. So it's really important to embrace multitasking, and it's gonna be tough at first, but you'll definitely come up with a system that works for you and your kids and your job, of course. So mamas and papas, really be easy on yourself. And if you want even more videos about like working from home and what it's like, I've been doing this for over 2 years now. So be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, Mamas in the Mood, and watch one of these videos next. And remember, I care.